Chapter 27, wood hauling. Everybody open your workbook to page 66 for Farmer Boy, and we're going to talk about the reading notes, and we'll go from there. Reading notes at the top of 66 for chapter 27. Look at them with me. The first one says skid. A skid is timber used as a support or track for rolling heavy objects. All right, so they would make a pathway to roll things on top of it. That would be a skid. We're going to read about that in this chapter. Cant poles. They're long, sharp poles with free swinging iron hook at one end. A big hook with pole on a pole. Topsy-turvy, pell-mell. That's fun to say. Try saying that 3 times. Topsy-turvy, pell-mell. Both expressions mean a state of utter disorder or confusion. Everything's crazy going on. It's just crazy. Okay, that's what it's talking about. The fourth word, corded. Cut to the same length and stacked. They're all put in the same order. They're corded, is what it says. Let's look at the vocabulary. Number 1, he fed them carrots and talked to them soothingly. Do you think they liked the carrots? I'm assuming they're talking about the horses. Do you think? Maybe. Soothingly means calmly, right? In a calming way. So we're going to put calmly. Number 2, you spoil a team if you let them seesaw. Don't think they're talking about a teeter-totter seesaw, okay? Spoil here means ruin, to ruin them. Father was always talking about how he had to take care not to ruin or mess up those horses, right? And that any little thing could mess them up. So this was another thing he was telling them about the horses. Number 3, they snorted and floundered and plunged. They floundered. In this case, it means struggled helplessly. I'm going to double the columns here. Struggled helplessly. They tried to do something, but they couldn't. They just kind of stood around. Struggled helplessly. They floundered. Number 4, they snorted and floundered and plunged. Plunged. Oh, we know what that means. We had that in vocabulary. Plunge means to go down, right? So in this case, they fell, and it means forcefully. They fell hard. They plunged down. And number 5, but can you figure? In this case, they're talking about doing math problems. They are talking about calculating with numbers to add or subtract, multiply, or divide. So to figure here means to calculate with numbers. Do you think they had a calculator? It would not be like one that you and I have now. Not at all. When I was your age, they had just come out with the handheld calculators, and they were very expensive. My mom got one when I was like 7, and it cost $50 back then for this calculator. And I remember it very, very well because it was like this brand new thing. There weren't computers like we have nowadays, let alone calculators. Now, this is a long time before I was 7 years old, wasn't it? So here they're talking about calculating, meaning to add up, add, subtract, multiply, divide. So can you figure, when they say that, that means can you do math? Can you do math? All right, guys, I'd like you to read chapter number 27, wood hauling. When you're done, come back to the video and we'll talk about the questions. Okay, guys, comprehension questions. Number 1, Father's French neighbors come to help with the wood hauling. What other things in previous chapters have they helped the Wilders do? Do you remember that? They did come over, didn't they? Did they help with the ice cutting? Yeah, they did. How about the butchering? And then there's the whole thing of the sheep shearing where Almanzo played a joke on them. Remember that? So they came and helped. The neighbors helped each other. Number 2, what is Almanzo's accident and how does his father react? Do you remember the accident he had in this chapter? What happened to the log? Yeah, the log fell on him and it hit him in the head and it crushed him into the snow. It's a wonder he wasn't hurt more, right? How did Father react to that? Dad said, are you okay? And you should be more careful. It's basically what happened, right? Number 3. What is Almanzo's reaction to his mother's suggestion that he stop work after the accident? Did he want to stop working? No way. He wasn't going to let a little accident stop him. But what did he do instead? He worked more slowly, didn't he? That way he wouldn't have an accident again. Number 4. Almanzo has been taught to be patient and gentle with his oxen. What's an example of how his patience helps when things go wrong? Think back through the chapter, right? So when the team began to seesaw, does he overreact? How does he react? He spoke soothingly, softly to them to help them to get going in the right direction, again, to pull together. And he gives them encouragement when they make mistakes. He doesn't get mad. He's nice and calm. That's a huge thing. That really helps out a lot. Number 5, what is Almanzo's chief motivation for studying hard at arithmetic? Why did he want to learn his math? Why did he want to do that? So he didn't have to go back to school. He figures if he knows his math, he doesn't have to go back and do any more math, doesn't he? All right. I need you to look at 67 in your workbook. We have quotations. I want you to fill in those blanks. And then please look down at the enrichment section with me. Sequencing. It is important. I want you to read along. So look at the book at the sequencing section under enrichment. It is important and often necessary to remember the order of events in a story. Put the following events in order by numbering them from 1 to 8. The very first thing that happened, you're going to put a 1 by all the way down through the end. And I am going to check this. All right, this is going to be for a grade. So make sure you get those filled in correctly. You can look back in the chapter, definitely. This will help you to get the things in order. After this, you are done with chapter 27, and I'll see you next time.